The absolute essentials. I'm not giving you any crap that you don't need.
We are not cluttering our homes.
We're not being those parents. Hello you, welcome back. Thank you so much for being here. In today's video, you can expect me to be running through the newborn must-haves. Now, if you've watched any of my other videos on here, pregnancy essentials, new mum essentials, organization hacks, that kind of thing, I am very, very keen to not clutter my home, to not over babyfy my nursery, to not be in a position where I just have loads of things that actually I don't need. And most importantly, not to fall into the trap that a lot of people tell you,
you need this, you need this, you need this. God, if you don't get it, it's gonna be a travesty.
because it's just simply not true. And I don't want you falling into those traps that I'm really glad that I refuse to fall into. So to make it easier, I'm going to be sharing with you the must-haves that actually are really useful, tried and tested by me, a first-time mum. So let's get straight into it. Number one is probably a bit of a controversial one. When I say controversial, I mean, actually when I was told this is something I needed, I was like,
I don't need that. Why would I need that?
I can just gauge that for myself. This is a room temperature. So the reason why I didn't think I needed it is because surely I'd be able to just feel what the temperature in the room was like and therefore know what to dress my baby in. But actually, when you're immediately postpartum, your temperature can be a little bit all over the place, or certainly that's what I experienced. And also, you are different to your baby. So they are in a whole different zone compared to an adult. Like they're a baby, you're an adult, you can regulate on your own, they can't regulate their own temperature, which is why it's actually really important. Most importantly, why I found that really beneficial, we actually got one secondhand, which was great, and I'd recommend getting everything baby related secondhand if you can, because firstly, it saves you money, and secondly, a lot of stuff that you get secondhand for your baby will be in immaculate condition, barely used because babies use things for a small amount of time. The reason why I found it really beneficial was for peace of mind. It's because I didn't realize how nervous and anxious I would feel having a new baby and just wanting to make sure that they stayed alive and keeping them okay. Having the room temperature egg, we have the Grow Egg one. I'll link everything I mentioned below so you can get it nice and easily. It's just such a nice reassurer to look in the middle of the night at the Grow Egg. What's really good is it has the number, but it also has the color. So if you are like my husband, who wears glasses and contact lenses and in the night obviously doesn't wear any of those and so can't easily read from far away a number, there is a colour as well, and the colour corresponds with how cold or how warm it is. You can go into your room in the evening, look at what it's saying, and then decide, okay, it's pretty hot in here, let's make sure we don't wrap baby up really, really nice and warm and toasty, let's keep him in a really light sleep suit, for example. Using that Grow Egg I found really, really beneficial, and I would definitely say, if anything for peace of mind, it is a really good thing to have in your space. Next thing I recommend is something that we're not using as much as we did in the early stages, but definitely in the newborn stages, it is to have a Moses basket in the main room that you will spend your time in, which is probably going to be your living room. So you may have a crib upstairs in your bedroom, but having a Moses basket, basically a small crib in the downstairs room where you are, is really helpful for when your baby's napping in the day and you can put them safely in there and you know they're safe. It's not safe to leave a baby on a sofa. They're not rolling over in those newborn stages, but you just never know what might happen. So it's always safe to have them in that Moses basket or the crib. I found that we used our downstairs one so much more than we actually used our upstairs one. We also got our second hand. So again, I'd recommend getting that second hand. You can get them in really beautiful condition. Being able to lie down on the sofa yourself and put your feet up without having a baby glued to you, as much as that is the most gorgeous thing in the world, you might want a little break, and having that Moses basket there is just amazing for giving you that. Valuable to us has been number 3, which is our insulated cool bag. We have the one from Storksack. It's really pretty, so that's one of the reasons why I like it. It's aesthetically quite pleasing. It's not overly babyfied, but also whether you're breastfeeding or giving formula or doing combi feeding, I'm combi feeding at the moment, it is really useful for making sure that you're keeping those bottles nice and cool. So what we are doing is whenever we're going out, if we go on a walk, we'll maybe take 1 or 2 bottles in that cool bag. So it's just useful to have when you're out. Also, it's not just for a baby. So I'm seeing this again as an eco-friendly, sustainable purchase. Longer term, that is a cool bag that we will use over the years as a family if we want to keep things cool, if we're going out for a picnic, to keep things in that cool bag. So definitely having that. What we're finding really useful as well is to save us going up and down in the night, is keeping the milk in the cool bag and taking it upstairs with us. That just saves my husband going downstairs in the night if we're giving formula in the night. Mostly now I'm breastfeeding through the night. If you want to know more about my breastfeeding journey, which was a whole thing, video up for you to give that a watch. It's really honest and emotional sharing of my breastfeeding journey. And for that reason, we were giving formula a lot more in the night. Now that breastfeeding's become a lot more easy, so much easier to feed in the night. But if you are giving bottles in the night, whether it's breast milk bottles or formula bottles, just saving yourself having to go downstairs and to get it out of the fridge and then to warm it up and then bring it upstairs. It's all in your same bedroom. So it's just really easy and nice and simple for you and your partner to do. Number 4 are cellular blankets. So you can't just use a normal blanket on a baby. For safety reasons, you need a cellular blanket. And a cellular blanket, I'll link an image up here, is essentially a blanket with lots of holes in it. So it's a breathable fabric. You can search cellular blankets and find them. Again, I'll link below the ones that we have. I've got 4. We started off with 2 and then I noticed that actually I think we need a few more. So we've got 2 more. I think 4 is plenty. I don't think you really need more than 4. Again,
You're going to be doing a lot of washing.
so you will be washing them regularly. So that's all good, but definitely get the cellular blankets. It depends on when you're having your baby as well. I had my baby boy in April. We have had not the best summer in the UK. If you're based in the UK and you know, it's not been incredibly hot. So we have used it. Obviously not as much as we would have done if we had a winter baby, but I imagine that we'll use those cellular blankets a lot more as we move into the colder months and the winter period, as they will definitely get a lot of use. So definitely say get 3 or 4 cellular blankets and then you have them to wrap your baby up nice and cozily, but you know that they're going to be safe in there as well. Number 5, I feel like you can never have enough of, and that is muslins or burp cloths. So one thing I would say is get them in different sizes. So we have quite a few large muslins, which are really useful, but we also have some smaller burp cloths, which are good if you're on the go. A few different sizes, it's very useful to have that. Every single time you feed your baby, you need to then burp your baby. And when you burp your baby, often they will spit up. They will send it back to the restaurant, I like to say. What I've noticed is if I am breastfeeding, there is a lot less spit up. If I'm formula feeding or breastfeeding in a bottle, maybe it must be that when they're breastfeeding themselves, they are controlling how much they're taking in, whereas in a bottle, I think it must just be a little bit more tricky for them. I don't know, definitely for my baby anyway, when he's drinking in the bottle, whether it's breast milk or formula from the bottle feeding creates a lot more like, it's not puke, it's literally spit up, but it comes up a lot more and it comes up quite quickly as well. So you want to catch any spills with a muslin. The other thing to know with muslins, which I didn't know until maybe a week after we'd had the baby, is that you have to wash a muslin after every use. And that is because when the milk, whether it's breast milk or formula milk, mixes with the baby's saliva, that is when bacteria can start forming. So you cannot use one muslin for 5 days, for example. Firstly, you won't want to because it will stink. Like there is a particular smell.
It's just not the one.
So you'll smell it and you'll be like,
We need to wash that.
but 2, it's not safe for the baby because of the bacteria's growth there. Or you, really, especially if you're wearing clothes. That's
The bummer is
if you wear an outfit or you're wearing a shirt and then the baby spits up on it, that's got to go in the wash. And either you can spot wash it, but if it's literally everywhere, then you will want to clear the bacteria off it. So that is another really hot tip that I think every new mum or new parent needs to know. Get your muslins, get your burp cloths. That's why you need quite a few of them, different sizes, and make sure you wash them when they've got milk and spit up on there to avoid bacteria growth. Number 6 is a sterilizer, but most importantly, a sterilizer that is easy to use. So we have got, again, I'll link it below, the Philips Avent sterilizer. Why I love it, firstly, we got it secondhand.
obviously.
I get a lot of stuff secondhand, as you know, you're gonna see a theme here. Secondly, it literally goes into the microwave for 6 minutes. And thirdly, it can carry 6 bottles. And bottles, teats, so basically you've got the bottle, you screw on the little teat, which is like the little nipple bit, and then you have the cap that goes on top. All 3 of them come apart, and then you need to sterilize all 3 of them. All of that goes into the Philips Avent. So you've got the 6 bottles that go in, and then you also put your little teats in the sides, and you put the caps in the sides. You pour about 200, 300 ml of cold water into the base. You pop the lid on, and then you go into the microwave for 6 minutes. You leave it, you take it out carefully, and there you have it. You have sterilized bottles. Obviously, you can do old school. You don't need to buy one of those. You can literally put all the bottles, all the teats, all the caps, a big saucepan with boiling water. You can also get, if you're traveling, Milton's sterilizing tablets. Again, I'll link those. They're really great if you're going away. But we have just found the easy to use, in the microwave, done, quick You don't have to watch over a saucepan because you're not going to be able to do that, right? You want something that means that you can be with your baby and you're not spending loads of time in the kitchen. You get an easy to use sterilizer. Number 7 is a baby thermometer. So we have always had a thermometer in our household, but it's been the one that you put under your tongue, which you cannot give to a baby. So what we have is the one that goes on the forehead and it makes a little beep and you basically go like that and you do it twice and then it beeps when it's done and you can see. Again, firstly, peace of mind, because you do worry. I think the first night we checked our baby's temperature 6 times. Yeah, you just get concerned. But I mean, it's just great to have that reassurance, to check their temperature, know what it is, make sure that you know the range of what the baby's temperature needs to be. I'll put it up here as a reminder. I mean, I always forget. I want to say 37.5. I don't remember. Anyway, I'm going to put it up here so you know, and also so I remember what it is. Otherwise, it's a quick Google, isn't it? If it's the middle of the night, just do a quick Google and figure out whether a baby's got a temperature or not, and it will tell you. But using that is really, really useful. We keep it upstairs in Brody's nursery, which is next to our bedroom, so we can easily get it in the middle of the night if we need to. Especially after he had his vaccinations, I was checking a lot more frequently as well. So at his 8-week vaccination, we were making sure we checked lots. That's a key thing, right? Because babies cannot regulate their own temperature, and that's why temperature awareness is really, really important. Number 8, the final one, is bottles and teats. So I naively went into this thinking I didn't need bottles because I was like,
I'm going to breastfeed.
and again, check out that video on my breastfeeding journey because it definitely wasn't as smooth as I thought it was going to be. And it meant that we were needing to rely on the bottle more than my direct breast, which I hadn't really taken into consideration. And therefore, I only had 2 bottles with 2 teats and 2 caps, and they came with that Philips Avon sterilizer. I don't know if it always comes like that, but ours came with 2 bottles, which was great. And subsequently got bottles, again, touch wood, we got them secondhand. You can get bottles secondhand, it's completely safe. We really, really like the Lansano bottles. The teat feels, I've mentioned this in one of my other videos, but the teat kind of feels a little bit more like a nipple shape, and they're really quite nice to hold as a parent. So I'd really recommend getting a few bottles. One thing to really note is not to get teats that are fast flow. It usually says on a fast flow teat pack 6 months plus. Fast flow obviously means that it's going to come out pretty quickly. And for a newborn baby, when they have tiny tummies, you do not want to be, they want to guzzle, but you don't want to let them guzzle essentially and take too much fluid in, because really probably what will happen is it will all just come straight back up, which is not good for them. And it's also a waste of your hard-earned money that's going towards formula, or your hard-earned work that's going towards making the breast milk. So definitely get bottles, definitely get teats. Do not get the fast flow teats. That's to the end of this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you want to know anything else in the comment section. I am going to also be making a newborns do not waste your money video, which is basically going to be things that you absolutely don't need. I think those 8 are really like some basics on what you do need to have in your house before you have a baby. So I hope that you find it really useful. Check out the links below, and I'll see you again soon in our next video. Bye.